Feel relaxed. Ask any question that bothers you, things you need to know about the discipline. So many of us find ourselves in this profession not because that was the first choice of our courses we opted for. But today we bless God that we are here. And so such questions are in the hearts of some of our students who feel like maybe this is not the right place you should be. I tell you, your questions will be answered, and you will thank God that you entered for this course. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's put our hands together for Professor Chris Akinwile to kindly come up to do this session. Students, Bosse, please, can you allow the students come now? This session is member-student in conference.
Thank you very much, Engineer. My namesake, Christopher. I think he read my mind when he said some of us didn't choose agricultural engineering as the first choice. Years ago, I was also like that. But I think the best decisions I've ever taken, or God allowed me to take, is to remain in agricultural engineering departments. I wouldn't know if I've been able to achieve the little that I have so far and counting outside of agricultural engineering. And that's my opening statement this morning to those who might probably have that mind, or who are still thinking that by the time they are done, they probably will bury the certificate somewhere and run to another department to do their postgraduate studies. I did run to mechanical, ran back to agricultural engineering. For my PhD, I ran to civil, ran back to agricultural engineering. So I don't know why, I don't know who told Chris to choose me for this session, but I'm sure I can share from my experiences. Well, like the chairman, national chairman told us, agricultural engineering is the profession that feeds the nation. And globally, we are in a global mess now because of food insecurity. And the Sustainable Development Goals that were meant to have been achieved in the next 6 years, from the look of things and all the indices that we have, seems to be a mirage. You know, the first one is no poverty, the second one is no hunger, or ending hunger by 2030. Instead of ending hunger, we're having more hunger in the land. The prices are soaring of food prices, of food crops. And in addition to the economic instability, the social instability, we also have the damaging consequences of climate change that is actually impairing negatively on our food crops. And so that tells us that agricultural engineers are needed to actually come up with novel idea of increasing the land under cultivation, excuse me, as well as feeding the burgeoning population that is increasing on a daily basis without necessarily increasing the land itself. What I'm trying to say is that you maximize production or productivity and minimize losses or wastage. And that is the profession you or I have found ourselves, and that's why we need to really do all we can to ensure that we feed ourselves and the nation. You know, one man sang a song in the early 80s, it's passed on now. So he said, an hungry man is an angry man. And you can see anger in the land. If anybody speaks, you blow hot. This one sneeze, you blow hot. Why? Because we're hungry. And sincerely, if you are hungry, you can't think straight. There is no amount of ideas, ingenuity you have. Once you are hungry, the first thing is to solve the problem of hunger before you can start thinking of other things. So I'd like to welcome comments from some of your questions that may have arisen in the choice of your choosing the profession as a course to study. And what are the ways, or how are the ways you are coping with it, or what are the areas that are still bothering you, that you feel that this will be an opportunity for you to get the views of those who are already ahead of you in the profession, who have actually excelled. Of all the professions under the divisions of Nigeria Society of Engineers, I think by my indices and from all indications, most successful in terms of churning out quality leadership among the rank and file of critical infrastructure and organization in Nigeria is agricultural engineering. We've had the largest number of vice chancellors, we've had the largest number of professionals who have distinguished themselves both within and outside the shores of this country who are agric engineers. They may have done other things at higher degrees, but the basic background or the basic training was in agricultural engineering. So that gives me the confidence that with this set of future that we have, of course, it can only be better if only they have the right mindset, the right impetus to go all the way and then to think outside of the box to ensure that you leave your footprint in the sand of time as far as that profession is concerned. So do we have comments, questions? I try to summarize. I don't want to take our time because we have just a little time. Very soon we will start the program. But if there are questions.
Yeah, the question here.
Okay, sir. So we can just take one or two before we start the meeting. Thank you. You should clap for her. Yeah, we have an arm of agric engineering that is women in agricultural engineering, and they are here. And they are playing a major role in this conference. The coordinator is Professor Mrs. Kende Taiwo, former Dean of the Obafemi University, Ife. I'm sure he will be joining us online. And quite a number of distinguished people who are also here, Dr. Adamade, Madam Ineka, and a lot of them. The job opportunities are endless, not only for women alone, even for the men. Endless. Let me tell you this, there is no part of the society that agricultural engineer cannot fit in by the training. You must have been trained through civil, strength of materials while you were coming up. You have had fluid mechanics. You have had rural water supply and sanitation, which is more of this thing. You've had farm structures. So effortlessly, if only you know your worth, you will get the job that you desire. There is also precision agriculture that is bringing electronics into agricultural engineering. First of all is agriculture. When I see my colleagues in mechanical that are fabricating materials, what are they doing? They were fabricating agricultural materials. And I'll tell them, you don't know as much as I know in this area. When civil guys tell me, what am I doing with dams? I say, who needs the water more? Is it you or me? What is the largest user of water in the world? Is it agriculture? So, there is nowhere you fit in. I mean, you put your mind at, and then you go for that you will not fit in. Is it in terms of, what is it called now? These climate smart agriculture that the meteorologists are also doing. It's part of agriculture. You are modifying what is it called now? The genes of crops. We call it cross hybridization to actually find the one that is climate resistant. It's still agriculture. You are talking of the nutrients in the soil. Why? So that the plants can take it for optimum use. It's agriculture. So there is nowhere, whether you are looking at tractor and equipment, you are looking at bank, there is a column in bank that deals with agricultural insurance. Just like you insure your vehicles and all that, in the unlikely event of the consequence of climate change, who bears the brunt? Why is it that only the farmers are the ones that are at loss at the end of the day? Once you ensure that, even if there's flood, like we experience in some parts of Nigeria and all that, you know you are not totally, absolutely at loss. They do that, in some civilized countries or well-advanced countries of the world. So I don't know of any spare that you want to. Is it avionics when you have drones to monitor whatever, insecticide, fertilizer, fertigation, and what have you? I am not aware of any area, I'm sorry, that an agric engineer cannot work. I guess that answers your question. Thank you.
Another question, please.
Hello, thank you very much for the opportunity. I am Anas Umar from Bayero University. I can hear you are talking about the opportunities in agricultural engineering and how it is it enters a lot of various parts of engineering. I want to ask how, I want you to talk about how agricultural engineering is collaborating with other parts of engineering, like how agricultural engineering allows various parts of engineering, like civil, agricultural, and mechanical, and mechatronics to work with them and collaborate with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my friend. We are doing serious collaborations. In fact, the line between agricultural engineering, and other arms of engineering is getting thinner day by day because there's an overlap of what you do. Now you don't talk exclusively about agricultural engineering. If you are in soil and water, that you don't talk about drainage. Now there are some drainage equipment that needs sensors. Yeah, you have a little training in electrical engineering, but you also collaborate with people in the electrical electronics section. If you are talking about drones, robotics, you're talking about mechatronics. These are people that you work together. So there is multidisciplinary now, these days, with respect to, because that's the only way to move forward as a nation. And I want to announce to you that the strength of any nation is in its education, R&D. So now, technically, there is nothing like agricultural engineering as a department in most of these advanced worlds. It's either you have agric and biosystems, agric and environmental, agric and what, or bioengineering and all that. It tells you that there is a fusion between these arms of engineering and agricultural engineering. And that should be your own starting point, your generation. The people that trained us, they will tell you what is agric engineering in this work when we're doing our research those days. But now you want to see how you are going to leverage on the knowledge of somebody in electrical electronics, somebody in civil and all that, to actually bring out novel products that can actually impair positively on our development. So the collaboration is there, and that's what one of the drivers of this current administration or regime of led by Professor Joshua Olarewaju Olaoye, to ensure that everybody that is everybody comes on board to work together to solve some of the myriads of problems bedeviling Nigeria. So you cannot, as a final year student, now just decide to have a project that will only be rigidly restricted to your department. You collaborate with others to have something good that can solve our problem. We should move away from research that will just be on our shelf to applied research. And again, that is why TED Fund is actually showcasing, interestingly, sorry for that aggregation, I'm a member of that group, that is showcasing products that can be taken up in our society so that we minimize. Can you imagine if we are still importing toothpick, we're importing cotton board, yet we export trees, log of trees, but we import those things. We have cocoa here, we import chocolate. You know, that Nigeria has 4 refineries that are not working, and we have to import fuel. It's something that should get us thinking. So that is exactly why collaborative research is very important, is key and critical for national development. Thank you very much.
One more question, please.
Just one and then because some of the dignitaries are here now.
Good morning, sir. My name is Inari Ogenoga Agunyus from University of Benin. I have a question. The state of the country now is not funny due to the increase in prices of agricultural products and food products in general. So to tackle that issue, we need to resort to emerging technologies in agricultural engineering. And coming to that, emerging technologies in agricultural engineering, enforcing those technological advancements in our country as of now needs funding. Is capital intensive in general. So I want to ask, for us young engineers and engineers already practicing already, so I want to ask, how can we attain those funds? How can, just bring it to our knowledge, how we can process those funds to get to increase the production of agricultural products through emerging technologies. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, You know, that's the theme of this conference, this international conference, Emerging Technologies for the Development of Agriculture in Nigeria. I want to say that fund, essentially, interestingly, this might shock many of us, is not the major problem, it's the idea. Once you have the idea, fund will come. If you ask some of the richest men or excellent entrepreneurs and the business mongols we have in Nigeria today, they will tell you, money follows your idea. I'm telling you, give an idea that makes sense. Funds will run after your idea. Everybody wants money. An entrepreneur is not a Father Christmas. He wants to ensure that he puts his money where his nose is for the purpose of making profit. Is that okay? And once he sees sense in your idea, your novel idea, that if he puts his money here, he's going to make more money, he will put down the money. And there are a number of organizations that fund agricultural activities. We have a Bank of Agriculture that is exclusively designed to fund agriculture. We have, like I mentioned, TED Fund. Bring up idea, they will put down their money. And a lot of other. Even there are other international organizations that still will put down money. But let us see your emerging technology. Number one. Number two is that many of the reasons why we lack access to fund is because we are not coming up with anything that solve problems. Or the ones that we are coming up with has been developed elsewhere. So it is not new, as it were. And like one of my teachers mentioned, he said you must be able to think globally, but you act locally. Glocalization. I think that should be the watchword that I will leave with the students as we start this conference. Think globally, but act locally. Why is it that we still depend on John Deere's tractor to work, to do mechanization in Nigeria? Why can't we, if at the very least we cannot manufacture, come up with something that we can clone that can enhance our mechanization process? Because I tell you, if you can remove the cost of mechanizing a land, 56% of the money you are investing is gone. That means if somebody can help you to mass produce the land on a large scale and all that, what you are going to invest and what you are going to have as a return on investment will be massive. But to actually get someone who can produce 250 acres of land with the kind of because those tractors, I'm just using that as an example, just one, they are designed for the climate where they came from, and so they work well there. Optimally, they are not very functioning here. So think, why can't you think? We have Tata that is being made in India, that is working well in India, but because they want market for it, they bring it to Nigeria. So can we just think globally and act locally? Let's solve our problems. Like the Agendas 2063, the Africa we want. The problem of Africa should be solved by Africa in Africa. So let's think like that. Nobody will solve our problem for us. Whether they give us aids and all that, is because they are putting their money where their nose is. And until we rise up and solve our problem, sincerely, we may just be on a journey that is leading us nowhere. But come up with the idea. The fund will come. I think I didn't bore you. Let's welcome Engineer Christopher Ayidu as the leader. So let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you very much, Professor C. Kimbile. Quite an interesting session, I guess. I want to believe that some of our questions that have been disturbing our hearts as young engineers or students have been addressed. If we have any of our elders who want to make a comment on this session, I want to give us 2 minutes to add our voices to what Prof. ended. Please, does anybody who have a contribution to make in line with the questions that were asked by our students and young engineers? Yes, please give it to my mama over there.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I think everybody's an engineer here, so I'm engineer Aregbeshola from OAU. I just wanted to address the comment by the young lady, Christiana, yes. And many times when the young people talk about job opportunities, they are really looking towards white-collar jobs. In recent times, I've had a rethink. Most of people that are in private practice, making use of the knowledge that we know, are not agric engineers, and they are cashing in from it. So many times when we are looking for job opportunities, we might need to look beyond the white-collar jobs. I will share a very brief experience that got me thinking 2 years ago. I met someone who I've been friends with, a medical doctor. Today, as I speak, the person went out and worked as a medical doctor for many years, but while she was out, she saw business opportunity in things that relates to our profession. Now she's completely back in Nigeria, and all she's doing is agric engineering stuff. She started with drying and packaging spices that she exports. Now she's into farming. This year she bought some land, got a tractor, and started farming. She's a medical doctor. She has refused to go back to the medical profession. She's a female, and that's why I want to use her as an example. And how did I know? She started consulting me. She doesn't know things about moisture content. She doesn't know things about bulk density. She doesn't know things about quality. She doesn't know things about the right varieties to plant. But each time she needs advice, she comes to me, and I told her, yeah, you just came to my profession and you're cashing in on it. So I said I will stop giving you free consultation. You have to begin to pay, because as a medical doctor, if you go for consultation, you pay before they even see you at all.
You collect cash.
They collect cash. So those are small areas. People come and ask you about moisture content. You just tell them freely. And those are areas, even for those of us in academics, that we can cash in on. So as we were told earlier on, the opportunities are so many. But unfortunately, we feel as if we don't measure up. We feel ashamed of our profession. I think we should be more bold and glad to be agricultural engineers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for her. You know, not many of us tell people out there that we are agric engineers. Sometimes when they ask us, what's the profession? Some will say, I'm civil. Those of us who are red soil and water. And the farm power people will say mechanical, because we are not so proud of the course. But quite frankly, people out there envy us, but we are ashamed of ourselves. I think it's high time we started letting the world know who we are. There's a need for proper advocacy. Nobody's going to advertise us. Nobody's going to tell the world who we are other than ourselves. Yeah, Kevin, please give it to Professor Akintola. Doctor, put your hands together for you.
Good morning, everybody. I think this is a session that is so fascinating. Unfortunately, I believe all the students are here.
Yeah, some of them are on their way, about most 90 of them.
Fortunately, I'm the coordinator for the students.
Okay.
And we are thinking it big. I operate in the private sector, and I don't have any regret that I did agricultural engineering. I'm a civil engineer, like he said. I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm an electrical engineer. And I'm a facility engineer. Anything engineering. I tell people my company is a company that does all engineering. Though I'm an agricultural engineer. When I need the expertise, I call them, come and sit down. You are the expert. I'm the MD. I call myself managing partner. So I'm the MD. I will talk about the money, you talk about the job. Maybe I go back to how I started. I'm an NSC person. I'm a professional development person. Since I came into NSC, I see that passion that I must bring in the first calling, the agricultural engineer, to realize their dream. My first job, first corporate job with Coca-Cola. While others were going, it was this management training thing. While we were going, all of them were having maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour interview. But when it came to my turn, I had only 5 minutes interview. I was afraid. I thought I would not be taken. But somebody on that seat, when they checked my certificate, because I've gotten my master's, he checked, he said, you people, agric is the same thing as mechanical. So I went into Coca-Cola, and in Coca-Cola, you are the engineer, whether civil, electrical, instrumentation. So if you talk about anywhere, I can tell you I have a stake in it. And from there I moved to Unilever.
Okay, can you just wrap it up in 1 minute?
Sorry, the reason why I had to go back is because we are talking to our students. Please give us that opportunity when you are ready.
No, the other one.
Okay. So
1 minute.
where am I going? I tell people I'm part of those who normally interview students in Korea, in NSC. Many of our students are into power, solar. Today I said that is a thing in solar system is agric engineering. We study rural electrification.
Yeah.
It's not the grid. Stay within that rule. If you are talking about structures, we have lecturers who are into structures, who are engineers. So the first thing is that you must be bold to identify yourself. Who are you? If you don't realize who are you, whom you are, then you have missed it. When you realize whom you are, now look at the strata. Pin 1. If it's soil and water, go to boreholes. If it's electrification, go to solar. Go and study it in total. They need you. And I want to encourage us, if you are into farm power, that is where you want to go to. Go to the mechanic workshop, learn how to do it. Go to the tractor workshop, learn how to do it and do it fine. But it's unfortunate that many of us are running away from the fact. I want to encourage the lecturers, please tell them there is a job out there. All those jobs are your jobs. They don't belong to them. It belongs to us. And I want all those who are already graduates or about to be graduates, look for mentors. People to mentor you. You may not be able to get the real fact, but those who are outside are there too. When somebody wants to discourage you, tell them you cannot be discouraged. I'm available all the time. The only time I'm not available is when I'm sleeping. I tell them in NSC, I tell them in anybody I meet, I'm available all the time. And I want to get more people into this profession, doing the right thing and being celebrated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Akintola. All right, let's give it to a lady first before. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to stand on the existing protocols. My name is Engineer Antia Odo. I work with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation. I want to encourage our lecturers to make it a point of duty to always take students on study tours to irrigation schemes. Because if they have the first-hand information about the practical aspect of agriculture, honestly, they will be grounded and nobody will be asking for any white-collar job. Those who are in the northern part of Nigeria, they have more opportunities, and in states where we have irrigation schemes and projects, you need to visit some of these schemes because there are lots of interventions going on. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that information. It's very key. Very key. Please give it to the next person there.
Myself?
Okay, yeah. Next.
Thank you very much. My name is Ademilu Yinka from Inkami Lori. Fortunately, I was not when the student asked question. I asked one of my colleagues what the question about is talk about marketability of agricultural engineering. When I finished my service, I was retained in income. Later, I moved to Lagos to work with Dash Engineering. In that institution, they only employ chemical engineer and mechanical engineer.
Please, what's income for those of our students?
I'm from student income is National Center for Agricultural Mechanization. The only institution in sub-Saharan Africa that has the mandate to mechanize agriculture. You need to come and see us. Now, clap for income now. Please. So when I was to be interviewed, Professor Makanjuola interviewed me for the job. The question he asked me, how good are you in engineering design? Professor Makanjuola is asking that question. What will I say? I say, I can try. I say the engineer doesn't try. Either you know it or you don't know it. Praise the Lord. So, lo and behold, I was engaged. By the time I left that institution back to income, they have employed more than 6 agricultural engineers because of my little performance. I'm telling you the truth as he said it. Somebody mentioned my elder brother studied agricultural engineering. Bamba Demiluyi. He was the marketing manager for International Tobacco Company. He was the best marketing manager they ever had. Agricultural engineer can do anything. One of my colleagues there, the accountants were getting money. He just went to go and do it. I said, I can do it. He did account within 2 years. He became chartered accountant. Engineer, I'm sat. He became chartered. We can do anything. Others cannot do what we are doing. So we are the best. Go out without boldness, and you get the best in Jesus' name. Thank you very much. I'm not in church.
It's okay. It's okay. It shows the passion. Yeah, please give it to the next man there. The next man, please. Mama Makama, just hold on. His hand was before your hand.
Yeah, thank you. Standing on the existing protocol, I'm Engineer Dr. Ezekiel. I'm from University of Jos. I'm in the Faculty of Agric. I take weather, farm power, soil and water, all agric engineering courses in the faculty. So what I want to say is this. I took final year students out for a tour, visited different farms. After the visitation, I had discussions with them. I was so surprised after I interviewed them. Some of them applied for medicine, nursing, and pharmacy. A good number of them, like 80%. And they told me something that struck my heart, that if not for this visit, they were planning to have nothing to do with agric after graduation. This is the second semester final year. And that thing struck my heart. So ever since then, my last class is usually public lecture. The last one I did, I had to bring somebody from geology who's eating heavily from agric. He's just finished service, but he has traveled to 53 countries because of the innovations in agric. Now, what I want to say is, this is my observation. First, I discovered from my study offering from Ahmadu Bello University, I discovered that because of the places we go, civil, you become in touch with the course when you were about to leave. About second semester, 300 level, 400 level, first semester, second semester, you are going for IT, 500 level, you just have 1 year. So if you do numerical analysis, you do differential equation and all of that, it is not yet domesticated to solve our problem. It's still open-ended. Now, we need to revamp our curriculum to fit into what we're talking about. That's one. Number two, most of our lecturers are teaching with depression. They don't have hope in the profession. They don't need to see it, we see it. So you need to be motivated for somebody to see good in what you're talking about. Then number three, it's very hard for you to determine your journey when the vehicle has already started. Like you didn't apply for agric, you just found yourself there. I too struggled to leave agric engineering. It got to the time as like maybe among the first 3 best students, then the department, then they said no. I think one time I wanted to go to either civil or electrical. But you find a good number of, like those who applied in my class, it's only about 30 of us, only 3 applied. So I think 3 things I want to say. The lecturers need to be motivated. The students, they should stop once you have entered. Allow yourself, because most of them study with depression. Why is it that we are in it, we don't see the opportunities? Last time, 3 weeks ago, I was with medical doctors from teaching hospital.
30 seconds more, please.
Yeah, sorry. A teaching hospital. A good number of them were teaching them greenhouse farming, irrigation farming, and all of that. These are medical doctors, consultants. They see opportunities in our land, but we don't see it ourselves. That's what the power of what depression can do. So I want to say that the curriculum should be revamped. Teachers should teach with motivation. Students should be motivated. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I am Engineer Mrs. Musa Makama. I am from the Federal Polytechnic, Bida. Just like several speakers have said, I wanted to be an architect, but I found myself becoming an agric engineer. I want to talk to our younger ones this morning. In school, why are you there? I have come to find out that a lot of students are not interested in academics. No, let me say agric engineers. Why are you studying that course? If you have found yourself there accidentally, that's not bad enough. Please concentrate. Generally, this generation, of younger ones are not interested in academics. We want to make quick money. So while you are teaching, somebody is on the net, online, fiddling with how to get money. One of my students told me, he said, agric engineering is a scam. And I told him, get out of this department. You're a bad egg. Number 2, your final year project in selecting a topic, like Professor Akingbili said, think globally, but act locally. In Nigeria today, there are areas where we have problems. Think about such things. Don't just take any topic for a final year project. Look for something that when you lay your hand on it, it will feed you all the days of your life. I have a student, she's here in Abuja. She worked on the physical properties of some spices. And when she left, all she needed to do was to produce spices from those seeds. Mixed spices. And she's making money. I have a project on African locust bean.
30 seconds, please.
And that project has never been in that dimension. Today in my locality, it's helping farmers to do what? To decorticate locust bean. Getting the powder, which is a local material for the pharmaceutical industries. And it's making money. So please, let's look inward. Let's not be conscious of making money, but be conscious of making impact in agricultural engineering. Thank you.
Let's celebrate Dr. Makama. Thank you very much. It's been a very interesting time. I'm sure our students, a lot of our questions have been addressed. For 2 minutes, I want to ask some of our elders who are here, one of our founding fathers. How many of us actually chose agricultural engineering as a choice to be read in the university? That was your first choice? You didn't land accidentally? Please give him the mic. He said, we turn desert to city.
Desert, no water. Soil and water will come. Desert, no structure. Structure will come. Desert, no machine will bring it. No nutrient will bring nutrient. Go to desert in Israel. Design a city. That is our job. We are the best in engineering.
I mean, please, let's clap for ourselves. Let's clap for ourselves. It's interesting to know that some of us actually read agriculture, chose it as our first choice. A good number of us find ourselves here accidentally. Whether by accident or by incident, it has turned out to become the best discipline, quite frankly. I have no regret. I run a construction firm and a consulting firm. I don't like calling it a civil engineering company. Because more often than not, whenever we say construction, what comes into the minds of people is civil. We construct, we build, we fabricate, we miss. So construction is not limited to civil. So you ask what I do, I run a construction firm. Somebody over there? You're a developer. All right, I think it's been a very interesting time and beautiful moments. I'm sure, Bosse, you were happy you came to our midst. Electrical, you are welcome to be part of us. This is the discipline where everybody congregates. Mechanical finds herself here, electrical, civil, chemical. All of you can find a place, a destination here. We are an integral part of all the engineering discipline. There's no gainsaying the fact that this is the most versatile engineering discipline. If you know I'm saying the truth, why don't you put your hands together for this great profession? All right, so okay, I think we're out of time, but I'm sure with these few points that have been raised, you've been convinced beyond all reasonable doubt that this is the best place to be. We are the future, we're the hope of our country. And not just Nigeria, but everywhere in the world. It's my pleasure to announce to us the arrival of National Chairman, who was here before most of us, the National Vice Chairman, some NEC members, our elders or fellows, members, young engineers, students, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor to recognize the presence of past chairman of this great institution, Professor S.M. Musa. Please, can we put our hands together for him? Thank you very much. It's good to have you. We also have in our midst one of our legendary elders. I will also introduce him again when some of our dignitaries come here. One of our choices, one of our best, Professor Peter A. Please, can we rise to our feet as we recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State, Engineer Professor Abagana Zulu. Please, let's put our hands together for him. And on this note, I think we can take the national anthem. Can we rise to take the national anthem? Make way, if you don't mind, please give us can you play it for us? Some of us are still struggling. Nigeria, we hail thee. All right, make a please, can you? Thank you very much. Please, as we remain standing, we invite Professor Adama to do the opening prayers. Or we can take the second stanza of our old national anthem.
No, the
Okay.
new one.
Okay, the new one.
Yes. Let them sing it.
Please, can you give us the lyrics again? All right, we can read it from our manual. Please, can we take the prayers, please? O God of all creation, grant our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I want to first of all recognize the presence of the chairman of the occasion, the president of the Nigeria Society of Engineers and chairman in council, Engineer Margaret Aino Guntola, who is ably represented by the deputy president of this great institution, Nigeria Society of Engineers, Engineer A.A. Rabiu, FNSC, F9. Please let's celebrate him. Thank you very much, our president. We have also recognized the presence of His Excellency the Governor of Borno State, who happens to be a special guest of honor. In-house, not borrowed, one of us. Once again, please let's celebrate him. Professor Zulu Babakana Mohammed, FNSC, FNIAE, and many other MNI guests also. I have the singular honor also to recognize the presence of Professor Peter A. Onwalu, President, Africa University of Science and Technology, one-time President of Academy of Engineering. Please put your hands together for him, FNSC, FNIAE as well. It's good to have you in-house, not borrowed. We also have the MD of NCAM, Dr. Kama Abdul Fagar Rashidi. Please pardon my pronunciation just in case I didn't get it right. FNSC, I guess it should be, and FNIA, it should be. We also have our chairman, our host, our ever sit-down well chairman, and very swagalicious chairman, Engineer Professor Joshua Olawe, FNSC, FNIA. Please, let's celebrate our own. Let's celebrate our own. The list is endless. As time progresses, I will be taking time to recognize the others who are here. We also have Professor J.C. Adama, the National Vice Chairman, who also doubles as the CPC Chairman. Please, let's put our hands together for him. We have also Engineer Dr. Taye, our LOC Chairman. Please put your hands together for him. He's our host, and it's been beautiful since we arrived here on Sunday. Yesterday was Heaven on Earth. We had the best cocktail party since the inception of this great institution. Ladies and gentlemen, like I did say, I will be calling on others, I'll be recognizing others as they come